Now, I can't go all into all details on this part here because I read it in the book, but I had to give you a general idea where democracy is leading. If America do these little things, by God giving me the white cloud looking hand, and this was significant of Him speaking how to identify me during uh, Revelation 13:18, because I seen the sinister mindset. I seen how democracy worked. I saw that this was a hate crime acted out against the man of God. After God called me and called me to write His gospel, told me to write His gospel as I came from descending down the year of 1995, 2 years before my house was bombed. I didn't know how that white man came to be, and I didn't know. The only thing I didn't know how the black man really came to be, because they said so many tales. They even said we was not even people, but I knew there was a fundamental difference in the genetic color code and the chemical makeup of us. I know something different. That something had to happen awful strange to even cause this. But after I went back, and God said this man is wisdom in Revelation chapter 13:18, and he got me straight, and I began to write His gospel. I saw why they're hated. We're hated. The black man was indeed the first race that God created upon the face of the earth. Was the first man. Adam and Eve were black. Abraham and Sarah were black. Isaac was black. What it was in Genesis chapter 6, when the angels went into the daughters of men and bare children to them, it created a fundamental difference in the chemical makeup of that human flesh. We can't get around it. But found out when I looked at the male parts, which came through Noah, which became the seed part of this side, the genetic color code could be traced all the way back to Adam through all three of Noah's sons, Japheth, Ham, Shem, and Japheth. Japheth being the eldest. Well, well. So I know they had to be black people of the black race when I looked at the geographic location where the first man was created. They were born in a dense region of heat, where it was like a hot, heated region, and a person with low pigment count, there was no way he could survive in there if God created that man white with a low pigment count, because the pigment is involved that the human body have a pigment count when he exposed to that much in deadly heat rays coming from the sun. It's essential he have a lot to protect him. But when I look at the space shuttle and other vehicles that goes to and from out in space and return back, and they turn red hot, cherry hot when it came in, I said to myself, if the angels bear children to these daughters of men, they had a versatile body. Because this also was proved in Genesis when God said that Abraham had Sarah, God said to fix them some bread when they came down and they ate. So if they had a versatile body where they can come in as a spirit and withstand the heat generated rate of fuel and transform themselves, that they can take on food like human, it made this impossible. But they made it possible for them to bear children by the daughters of men, as is spoken of in Genesis chapter 6. And these children had to be, these daughters had to be the daughters of Cain. Well, beginning of the world, Cain, when he slew Abel in Genesis chapter 4, and God was telling him that he was going to make him a vagabond where he go throughout the earth, and everybody would look for him. He swore, told God, I believe in verse 14 or 15, that out from you, you driven me out of the presence of men, out from you I'll hide my face. But if he hid his face from God, meaning he was not going to serve him, then these daughters of Cain and the sons of Cain, he had to teach them against God. And if the angels bear children unto these which create white people, first white race, the children by them teaching that it was being taught that well, no God, they didn't know it was a God, but they holding up everything that God stood for, they was against because of the father's trade. What he said he was going to want to do because of what came. But one of these females, which was the wife of Jephthah, she came after with that same mentality. She was being spared through her, but she came with the mentality that her seed was not going to serve God because she came by angels. Well, the children born to the angels believed that they was. You have to look at them. They thought that they was. If they didn't believe in God, and they was not going to serve God, they had to see by them being part angel and part man. They thought by me being part angels, I should be greater than that man, but didn't know that God had made a covenant with that man, who was a black man. So therefore, he said, by me being part angels and part man, you have to think like him. By me having an angel part, I'm still man just like he is, but I'm greater because the angels is greater than the man. This is the way he thinks. So what he did, when God began to give him that black man dominion, not out of spite, but tried to change what angels had did. This people, through the genetic traits of Cain, who said he was not going to serve God, they didn't want to know, they didn't want to even believe in God. But God had sent Jesus down to die for their sins, and die for what the angels had called. They had no salvation before Jesus came. And Jesus gave them salvation. But as long as they grew with the same mentality that they was by them being part angels, whether by flesh or whether it's by blood, angels had no blood, they was more than the human race. With that mentality, that means that they was going to take dominion regardless of what God had said. They created them a law called democracy and some megabyte voices. And this is where we come in at the end. This is where you see the white hand. The white hands is the nation of the Gentiles who have a low pigment count, who is dominating the United States of America, who wrote the laws, who wrote the governmental body up here. And when we got slaves, we were servant of these people, made us servant. These become the governmental establishment here. They wrote all the rules and regulations. So they take and in secrecy, they kill the people, but do it in a more high-tech way behind a fighting force, putting them on a government payroll, making you, I, and all of us farm these people, and making it possible for them to exist through the same law that we do if they was innocent. And all these people think of the sentence of the marriage. And that's why it said in Revelation chapter 13, so I saw when one of his head was wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed, and all the nation wondered after the beast, and said, who could make war with him? He became the beast of the earth. Racism, which came from the beginning of time, this was the end result, albeit it came to the point, once their factories and natural resources began to fail because they needed the crude oil over there, they can't stand to see that nation of color, which is over there, who have a black mother and a black father, they cannot stand to see it be the dominant nation of earth because they think that they are part angels yet. Have no covenant with God. They try to prove that God don't exist. And what they're going to do is take the crude oil and hate everybody that hate them. And they're going to try to change the law of democracy, and law of Moses, and replace it with the law called democracy, which was created by their forefathers. Thank you. And I'm going to say goodbye. May God bless you.